So a lot of the shit me and you do in the gym now, I could have never done when I was starting off at 12, 13 years. Never. Me listening to music, no. Me pulling out my phone, bro, I used to get in trouble for pulling out my phone. I had to let him know who it was. If I got a text or a call, he'd be like, yo, put it away. But I'm like, nah, it's Tiana. He'd be like, oh, okay. Oh, it's mom. Oh, okay. But like if I was like, yo, it's Charles, he'd be like, yo, fuck Charles, bro. You could talk to him later. Nah, I'm so serious, bro. It was serious.
Let me ask you. Would you do that to your kids too?
Yeah.
Yeah.
100%. Because it keeps you focused. It keep like because of that, I believe that's why now I'm really good at like training and locking in and all this other stuff.
Okay.
It's because it just teaches, and I like, never enforce said rules to you. One, you're an adult. But I know, like, I'm kind of, like, training you and you're, like, following my lead. But I never really enforce said rules to you because I think it's different when you're training as a child than when you're training as an adult.
Yeah.
As a child, I'm learning. I didn't really know what I'm doing. Two, I know there are adults who don't want to be there. But I don't know. I feel like just as a kid, not that I say I really didn't want to be there, but I definitely would have probably got more distracted if I was listening to music all the time. I probably wouldn't have focus in terms of spotting my father and realizing the safety of it. I probably would have been trying to like text my friends and try to get through, or maybe even waste time between sets because I'm on my phone texting or picking a song or something like that. So because of that, I think as a kid, I probably would have wasted more time. So in order for me to really get into the gym and to know exactly what to do, how to spot, how to carry myself, what muscles I felt like, what exercises hit certain muscles, I needed to fully pay attention. So how do I fully pay attention is no phone, no music, just me and the workout partner. That was really it.
What do you do if you get pushback?
What do you mean?
When if your kid, if you were to do this and your kid were to give you pushback, I know you probably didn't get much pushback, but there's no guarantee your son or daughter's like, nah, I'm not trying to do all that.
I mean, you just take the phone away. Also, I could also start young enough to where they don't have a phone. Mm-hmm. I didn't get a phone until I was 11.
Yeah, that's a good point.
So, like, if I start training them before I even give them a phone, then it's completely different.
So is that something you would do?
Yeah, probably. Honestly, it's really hard to say just because, like, I'm not a parent.
All right, but hypothetically speaking, at what age would you start training your kid if you were to start training them?
I don't know. As of right now, I probably think around this age I started 10 or 11, but I'd probably put them in sports before then. They'd be active before they start lifting weights, but I'd definitely start them young. I think it's just easier once you start them young. I believe the reason why it's so easy for me to go to the gym is because I started young. Mm-hmm. Like you're talking about, I'm 24 now. I've been doing this since I was 11. Ingrained in me since I was 11. Going every single day, like no rest days. Which hindsight after doing research probably wasn't the smartest. But like
rest days are important.
Going 7 days a week. Every single week, it just kind of becomes like ingrained in me until now.
Repetition.
Yeah, until now, like it's kind of like I'm not gonna say my day is weird without it, but it's just not the same.
It's like second nature. It's a part of your life.
Yeah, and then also I do believe I've grown a little bit of pride in how I look and how I take care of my body and all that other stuff. So once that starts to kind of kick in and you start seeing results as a kid, you kind of want to keep it. Because then also I've always been...
You see the progress.
Yeah. So, like, I ain't the biggest dude, but, like, I've always been more fit than...
most people.
All my peers.
Yeah.
People might be bigger than me. They might be taller than me, stronger than me, faster than me. But majority of the people aren't as, like, cut in their muscle or just developed as mine in terms of my peers.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
So because of that, I also noticed that it also kind of helped me stand out a little bit. So over time, I started taking a liking to that, which kind of helped me in terms of like keep going. Because now I'm like, I know I look like this because I work out. And I have gotten injuries and haven't worked out for long periods of time. And then I've seen how my body's been. And personally, I like how I look when I work out compared to when I don't work out. So because of that, you keep it going. I think it's better to start off young. And it's better to keep them, especially if you have kids, you got to keep them as focused and as locked in as possible. And the fact that you're kids and you already have short attention spans already does not help. Yeah. Especially with like the growth of technology. And I know it was different with me because I wasn't exposed. Not that I wasn't exposed to a bunch of technology, but like I didn't get a phone until I was 11. And on top of that, it was like It was one of them slide shits. Like,
yeah.
it's not even like I could go on YouTube, all that.
Not
Nope.
no iPhone.
Nope. My parents like this for call and text.
Like their kids,
If you play any games on this, that's your ass because it's extra.
there are kids now that have phones just like those.
Bruh, for
That are
real,
just-
man. There's 8-year-olds with like
Yeah.
iPhone 15s and shit.
Yeah.
I'm
That
like, nigga, I
is
started off with a fucking
that is
Samsung
crazy. I started out with a Nokia.
type shit.
You know, like
Yeah.
the only thing that was gonna be I was gonna be playing was Snake, the game Snake, and that's it. There's no
Yeah.
Wi-Fi, no nothing.
I had
It
no,
was-
my shit had no game. My
it was
parents,
just a call.
I could only play Sudoku. I didn't even know how to play Sudoku.
Yeah, facts.
So I was like, and my parents said I'm gonna get my ass whooped if I play any games on here because it charges
Yeah, facts, because there's no Wi-Fi or whatever. Or
Yeah,
charge you for Wi-Fi.
type shit. So I'm like, all right, well, looks like I'm calling my parents and
Back when that
friends.
shit was just 2G.
Yeah, exactly. But that's just how it. But that's how my father was growing up. I'm thankful for it, and I'm thankful because I just felt like because of that I was able to. I think if I was given access to like me being on my phone and listening to music, I'm not sure how much like development, how much learning I really would have had compared to all distractions. All distractions are taken away, so like I have to focus.
You know, the short attention span thing is really true, because kids naturally have a short attention span when they're kids, and you're supposed to slowly grow out of that as you become an adult.
Get older and stuff like that.
Yeah, but if you don't practice, you get to see a lot of adults who now have short attention spans themselves.
Yeah.
Frankly, this entire world, look at TikTok. It's just built for people who
Swiping.
have short attention spans. So that's just kind of what you build up. If I were to do it, I think I'd probably start them off, of course, in just like whatever sport it was, but in just like training them, maybe like 7 or 8. I'd start around that age.
Yeah, that wouldn't be bad either.
Yeah, I don't think that's bad.
I want to start them young. I just think I don't know. I saw a lot of benefits from it in terms of starting young. But
And they're just more moldable. Like, they're probably more willing to work out with you at that age, because you're just like, I want to do things with you, compared to when they're more teenagers, just like, I want to do things with my friends.
yeah,
You know, if you start working out with them from that age, they build up that routine.
yeah,
Even when they're teenagers, they're just gonna be like, oh, wow, well, I have to work out with my dad, and then I'll go hang out with my friends.
yeah. That's how it was with me.
It's-
But I think also too, it depends on what sport. Depends on what sport they're playing and how serious the kid takes the sport.
True.
If a kid really wants to go pro, he's not out of 10 going to sacrifice some time with his friends or whatever.
Yeah.
To I once wanted to play in the league, so because of that, I was a lot more focused and driven and was willing to sacrifice certain things. So I think that also, that also plays a role. But even my kids didn't want to play sports. I still like, yo, you still got to work out. You still got to stay active. Like, it's healthy.
Would you force them?
What, to work out? Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's a requirement. Male or female, like I don't care. You're my daughter.
But you wouldn't do what your father did, where he was like, listen, like, you either coming or not. Like, I'm not going, baby you. I'm not going.
It depends. It might depend on how old they are. The younger they are, just the more like you're gonna do it.
Regardless.
Yeah.
Okay.
As they get older.
So is there a cutoff point for when?
I don't know. I haven't really thought about
Okay.
it. And that's very hard.
Fair enough.
That's very hard to answer, especially at the current moment. I also think my dad was that way with me. One, probably because I'm a guy, so he's probably a little bit harsher.
Your only son.
I also think that's a good way to really test and see like how much your kids want it. It's different with me because I wanted to be a professional athlete. So because of that, I had to have some semblance of drive. Compared to if you are talking to your son or daughter who has no aspirations of being a professional athlete.
Yeah, no, it's not necessary.
It's a little different. I think eventually I might get there depending on how old they are. Like I said, it's hard for me to answer, but definitely in the beginning, I'm kind of just going to be like,
You're coming.
yeah, it's like, come on.
Like, no one's at home. Like, you're coming with me. Like, I'm leaving the house, going to the gym. Your mom's already left. Your sister's
It's
off
like,
at school.
yeah, come on.
You're just here. You're coming with me. I'm not gonna leave you at the house by yourself.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Or I'll try to, I'll try to get them on a. What I do is also make it easier. Is just get them on a schedule, so they know. Like, okay, you come home from school at 2:30. By 4 p.m., we're going to the gym. So that means your homework needs to be done, or at least almost done by the time we go to the gym. So like they know, like it's a schedule. I wouldn't necessarily just like come in and surprise them and be like, oh yeah, by the way, we're going to the gym, Because even with me, I was on a schedule. I knew my dad came home at 5. He likes to relax a little bit and eat, so we leave at 7. So I knew at 7 o'clock, we would be leaving the house. 7 p.m., we'd be leaving the house to go to the gym. I knew
So you had that schedule.
it was a schedule. So I knew what it was.
Wow.
And I went damn near every day. Unless, like, you know, and my dad's typical, like, if I'm like, listen, I got a project and, like, I really got to get this done. Then he'd be like, okay, like, school's more important.
You'll be
Stay
flexible.
home and